What the hell is going on, AEW? Like, what's going on over there? Like, all this crap that has been going on for months, ever since Cody Rhodes left. AEW have been going downhill. Whether it be on TV, sometimes having like crappy shows, or backstage. The stuff that happened backstage, that's happening backstage, or behind the scenes, have not been. It's been out of control, and some might say it started at the All Out Media Scrum, but this has been going on for months. Like I said before, this has been going on ever since Cody Rhodes left, and I gotta give my thoughts on this whole situation. And if you're new to the channel, I am Michael Davis, H.O. Black. This is the H.O. Black Experience right here on the PW Hustle Zone. And I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. Because I gotta rant. I gotta rant. I gotta have a lot of shit to say. So bear with me. I'm gonna try to have this video be about less than 20 minutes. So bear with me. So to start off, what happened at the press conference, the media scrum. CM Punk, after he won the AEW World Championship at All Out in Chicago over John Moxley, he went off on Heyman Page, he went off on Colt Cabana, he even went off on the EVPs, or the Elite. And you guys probably already know what he said. I'm not going to repeat what he said. And it's been all over social media, all over YouTube, so there's no need for me to repeat every single thing that he said. But I am gonna tell you that some of the stuff he probably said about Colt Cabana might be half right, might be pretty messed up. If it was true, maybe it's true, because everybody and anyone that knows Colt Cabana better is Colt Cabana. They've been CM Punk. They've been friends for years. Now they're not. And the fact that he said all this said about Colt Cabana, it may be true. And Colt Cabana being a piece of shit is not really a stretch. But that's all I gotta say about that. What King and Mega and the Young Bucks, what I said about them, saying they're not even qualified, not even good enough to work a target, indicate that they've been shitty ass EVPs, to the point that the Elite heard this and they started banging on CM Punk's door in his locker room, and they ended up getting into a fight to the point that CM Punk threw punches at Nick Jackson, no, Matt Jackson. Ace Steel, CM Punk's trainer, he threw a chair at Nick Jackson and he started pulling and biting King Omega. And while all this happening, they all got punishments. And so, reported by Sports Illustrated, this is what they had to say. Punishments for that backstage fight, Sports Illustrated has learned, will include suspensions for every person involved. The list of those will be receiving suspensions including Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Pat Buck, Christopher Daniels, Maka Nakazawa, and Brandon Cutler. Most of the sources have been shared that with Punk and Ace Steel will either be among those suspensions or no longer be with the company by the end of Wednesday. Punk met with AEW owner Tony Khan on Tuesday, so the two had opportunity to discuss how that exit could be handled. Now, I recorded this at midnight on Thursday, and we haven't heard anything about the punishment for CM Punk or Ace Steel. I'll tell you right now, Ace Steel gets your bitch ass out of here. He ain't staying with the company, and because he doesn't even matter. I don't even know what he was working with the company about till last week. So Ace Steel, fuck out of here. CM Punk, I don't think he's gonna be fired, but he should be fired, because I think AEW will be fine without CM Punk. Even though they say they won't be fine, but let's face it, CM Punk in AEW has been a nightmare. He's been a problem backstage ever since he won the AEW World Championship, and even when he came back from injury, he had been just all this shit started happening. It started in May with the whole Heyman Page promo, but like a week after, he cut that promo on Dynamite, and he called out Heyman Page was not even part of the script, and that pissed off a couple people, including the Elite, apparently. And now, with him being out, whether that be him being fired or him being suspended, and also him getting hurt. Apparently, he got hurt during his match at All Out against Moxley, and apparently it's very serious. So that's also pretty fucked up on their end. And also with the Elite, look, I have my fair share of things to say about Cody Rhodes in the past, but I'd be on the PBS Zone or on podcasts in the past. Say what you will about Cody. Cody Rhodes can handle more of an EVP role than the Elite. Because the Elite pretty much puts him away when it came down to him being the EVP, to the point that he straight up left AEW to go back to WWE. Everybody thought that would work, but when Cody Rhodes came back, as soon as Kingdom started playing at WrestleMania, when he came out on stage, that's when you know it was not no work. And the fact that there gotta be more problems that Cody was not telling us. There gotta be more that we're not hearing from Cody Rhodes' side. But Cody Rhodes being professional enough to not share it. But maybe down the road we might hear his thoughts, his 2 cents, his side of the story. But he doesn't need to air that dirty lines right now to the public. He doesn't want to. But I don't think the Elite can handle being EVPs, because like they're freaking children. You see how they act on TV or how they act on being the Elite. That's them in real life for the most part. They don't know how to handle criticism, as we see on social media. Both Matt and Nick Jackson lead both their Twitter accounts. They just share one joint Twitter account. Kenny Omega has his fair share of things to say about fans' opinion on social media, to the point he says to shut the fuck up and just handle it himself. So them being EVPs and them being salty about not having creative control anymore, that's when they just try their best to go in business for themselves, put themselves over and win entire matches, as you saw at All Out being trio champions. And it was just a mess. Them being EVPs they shouldn't be EVPs in the first place. But since they created a company, they are known to be EVPs. So I don't see them leaving the company like Cody Rhodes, but I do see them possibly losing their EVP roles. I know it's a reason. I know it's a stress, but it can happen. I mean, they already got stripped from the World Trio Championships, as well as CM Punk being stripped from the AEW World Championship. That's right. At this very moment, the Death Triangle are your new AEW World Trio Champions, and Pac walking around here like,
hey yo, check it out, motherfucker! I'm Tupac.
Walking around with both the All Atlantic Championship and 1/3 of the Trio Championships, and with AEW World Championship, they're gonna be crowned a brand new AEW World Champion at Grand Slam, AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, with them having the tournament champions. With Brian Danielson already advanced to the next round against Chris Jericho, where he beat Heyman Page in their third matchup. The winner of that match, winner of the Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara match, will face John Moxley, who also has a 1 week bye. And whoever wins the semifinals matches will go on to the AEW Dynamite Grand Slam to challenge for the AEW World Championship. Now, personally, I don't want to see John Moxley be AEW World Champion again. I know a lot of people hate John Moxley. I think a lot of people don't like him because I know a lot of people don't like him because he's just not everybody's cup of tea. He's not worthy of being a world champion, as we saw in WWE. But he been doing a great job at AEW World Champion for the last two times he held the belt. especially when CM Punk was out and John Moxley was the interim champion. He was doing great as the world champion while CM Punk was out. And he did a great job as the world champion during the pandemic. So please, just don't. I don't get the John Moxley hate, because I don't get it. I think John Moxley is good. He's been doing great this year. I think he should be in conversation of being Wrestler of the Year 2022. That's all I gotta say about that. As for Jericho and Danielson, as much as I want to see Jericho win, Danielson win, I think they gotta give it to Jericho, and have it be Jericho and Moxley again for the third time. But because I don't see them having the two members of the Blackpool Combat Club face off in the finals. As much as we want to see Danielson win the World Championship, I don't think that gonna happen. Plus, if MJF says that he has the opportunity to pretty much cash in the chip anytime he wants, who to say he might cash in on the winner of the tournament, so he can walk out as the AEW World Champion in New York, in his homeland, pretty much, because he's from the New York area. He's from Long Island, New York. So who to say he won't do some dirty tactics and cash in that chip and walk out as AEW World Champion? It can happen. I don't know how that. I don't know if that works like Money in the Bank, but we gotta find out. We gotta find out. But as far as this whole CM Punk situation goes, CM Punk is a piece of shit. He's a punk ass bitch, pun intended, and we know that for years. This happened every time he's world champion wherever he goes. Whether it be at Ring of Honor, WWE, and now AEW. And he doing it because he does have the money. If people say, oh, he has a lot of money, he can just quit wrestling. Well, he realized that Fox just was hit differently, so he went back to wrestling and went to AEW. And yeah, a year ago, a lot of people were happy to see him back in wrestling. Now people want to see him gone forever and not be part of wrestling anymore. It's like, I don't blame you guys, because CM Punk is a fucking asshole. We know this for years. But the Professor Jabel Cruz have pointed out for years he's a PMS business boy. The masked man, Billy Ray Valentine. He said that he comes off as a dick, so people only assume that he's a dick, and it's true. He comes out as a fucking asshole backstage, and when you come across him in real life. So, as much as I want to see him fired, I don't think he's gonna be fired. Tony Khan know that he's a draw, and he wants him in AEW as long as possible. But he's still his trainer. Fuck out of here. But before I go, I want to point out a couple things that I saw prior to this news of CM Punk and the Elite backstage fight. One of them being Malakai Black. Malakai Black has officially granted his release from AEW after he requested it a few days ago. At first it was denied. Now it's officially he has left AEW. Him bowing down and blowing a kiss to the fans after his match against Miro, Sting, and Darby Allin would indicate the fact that he might be leaving the company. And the reason why he wanted to leave, he wanted to ask for release because of him battling with mental health. And for someone who's been battling with mental health for the last few weeks, especially this month, I know exactly how he feels. So hopefully we do see him back in the wrestling ring. He take all the time he need, because mental health is no fucking joke, and people that make fun of it or try to poke fun at it, trying to take advantage of that is a piece of shit. And as much as I don't want to bring up my that business I have on here, but I just have to put that out there. I do deal with mental health. I've been dealing with it for years, especially this month, September. For people that know me, know that September is a hard month for me, and I gotta bring up everything that went down or had to calm down in my life. But I I am trying to get out of that dark place. And sometimes I just think to myself, maybe to get out of that dark place, I just want to end it all. But I choose not to. I try to keep on fighting, try to keep my head up, and keep on doing the videos like this for you guys, or trivia videos like you guys see on my channel all the time, whether it be on this channel or the main previous channel. I try to get my mind on things. I'm doing that. I'm doing this, but it's hard. I try to keep on fighting, but I just want to bring it up because a lot of people that have suffered mental health. Hope you guys are trying to get your mind offset to try to get out of that dark place. But back to the fact of the matter, before I go, I want to talk to you guys. I want to bring up the whole situation with Thunder Rosa. With Thunder Rosa, some bullshit article from Ringside News. And by the way, you ever see an article from Ringside News doesn't know it, it's full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. All they do is post bullshit news, or post news that already broke by legit wrestling sites, and also post pictures of wrestlers in their bikinis and have their ass hanging out, and think that's news, but it's not. But anyway, there's a bullshit article that them saying that Thunder Rosa asked for her release, which we all know is true. It's not true. Thunder Rosa in the AEW has been hit or miss. When he first came in AEW as NWA Women's World Champion, it was a good move. It was a great move. It was a great addition to the women's division. But ever since then, it's just been a wacky road for her, and it didn't do any favor. The AEW not doing herself any favors. It is not Thunder Rosa's fault. Excuse me. It's not Thunder Rosa's fault. It's Tony Khan's fault. It's AEW's fault, because it's not booking Thunder Rosa or the women's division like they matter. The only person they booking like that, they think that matters, is Britt Baker. Let's be honest, she does not matter as much as she did when she first got over in that match against Thunder Rosa at St. Patrick's Day Slam, that unsanctioned match. She does not matter. She's not as over as people think she is. Okay, and it sucks that if Thunder Rosa didn't get the respect that she deserves as champion, what makes me think we gotta get that from Toni Storm? I think Toni Storm should have that opportunity to showcase her, to be out there and cut promos in the ring, or have good matches against some of the women on the roster. But I don't think we gotta get that as much as we did for Britt Baker. And let's face it, some of the matches that Britt Baker had, she got carried by her opponents. And almost every match she had as champion, she needed help from Jimmy Hater. She needed help from Rebel. She needed help from her. She needed help just being cheap. It's like, we don't need that for Britt Baker. We don't need to see Britt Baker on TV every week. We don't like you. We don't want you on TV. We want to see the champion, Toni Storm. It's Tony time, damn it. Tony's time. We need her on TV every week. We don't just need to see Britt Baker. I don't give a damn if people in Buffalo, people in Chicago don't give two shits about Toni Storm. I do. And a lot of people in the PBS Facebook group page do. So please, have Toni Storm be a credible champion, and when she does come back, have Toni Storm beat Thunder Rosa, because she should have been the actual women's champion all out. But Thunder Rosa backed out because she got hurt, and instead of pushing it, fighting through, and having her drop the title all out against Toni Storm, she literally just say she couldn't compete. Literally week before all out. That's kind of sketchy in my book. But hey, I'm calling Toni Storm the real world champion, and Thunder Rosa, I hope you feel better. But what you did backing out week before all out was kind of sketchy. It's kind of sketchy. So that's all I can say about that. That's all I gotta say about all the shit that's been going on at AEW. And we're hitting the 20-minute mark. So I guess that's all I gotta say about that. So please let me know what you think about this whole situation in AEW. Do you think AEW should suspend or fire CM Punk? Do you think they at least be withdraw from their EVP duties? But do you think who do you think win the AEW World Championship at Grand Slam? Let me know down below in the comments. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, type that bell on your numbers in my videos, and hope you guys are doing well. And keep on fighting through when you have even when you have mental health issues. And I know it's hard, but I know it's hard to understand. I know it's hard to get through your head, but when someone says you're not alone, listen to them, because they're not alone. And until that time, I'm Malakai, Black. I'm out.